So I've been looking at aspect charts for a while, and I think they actually kind of show possibly that twin flames existence is real and potentially universal design and balance can even be seen on aspect charts, that for every positive aspect, there is a counteracting negative aspect or something like that. So you'll see in this top one right here that these are people I suspect is twin flames. You'll notice that the numbers and the coordinates that they have are almost a mirror reflection, like the exact same coordinate right here. See, these are two different people, but look, they have counteracting coordinates of what aspects they are. And then when I did like a deeper dive looking into the aspects, each aspect kind of balanced out or mellowed out the other one for normal people. For twin flames, that should either amplify or, well, no, it amplified the good and amplified the bad. But it fits more with the description twin flames because they're supposed to be polarizing and they're supposed to be reflections of each other. But you'll notice you see the exact same coordinate. So essentially, I think there's a symmetry that you can even see in the aspect charts of almost every single person. I tried random people. I tried Cleopatra with my sister. That shit's still even balanced out. But what's most interesting is that for twin flames, that symmetry is kind of like further highlighted. It's like on crack, which is why you see the numbers even like being next to each other in the same categories. But, you know, with regular people, like that shit, you got to kind of look for it for a bit. There is a matching corresponding number. It may not be as perfect to the minutes, but there's always a matching one that's about a couple minutes apart. No more than 15 though. Maybe 30 minutes, but about 15. And then there's a matching one for every single aspect on that aspect chart. They have a counterbalance, but I just wanted to show the difference first between. So you'll see this with the regular charts too. They don't have as, it's not as on the face or obvious, like how that one's right there and that one's right there. You have to kind of look a little bit harder, but it's an interesting distinction. So when I'm talking about these aspect charts, I'm talking about when you do a comparison of two people's charts. Do you see how each of them in those lines right there? Those lines are called aspects. They're basically the concept of how well do these energies pair together? Are they harmonized? Are they unbalanced? Are they needing support? Are there going to be issues? And those are called aspects. The aspects are literally the aspects of like the relationship, the aspects of how the energies play out or interact with each other. So you'll see them like this. They're worded usually like North Node, conjunction True Node, Mars, conjunction Ascendant, trine, sextile. Those are the different colors that you're seeing right there. What I'm saying is that for every single negative or positive one of these, there's a counteracting one. So if it says like you guys are going to have really good chemistry and like be super lovey-dovey, on the flip side, it might be like, but you guys might have some issues with communication. That's what I'm seeing on the charts. So isn't it interesting that there would be a matching coordinate for every aspect, meaning that there was an equalizer or one that was corresponding to the same aspect that's going to have the same amount of deference because it's around the same location. The coordinates matter because they'll give you what the orb is. And the closer the orb, meaning how far away the planets were from each other, that's how much deference you're going to give to this aspect. So if this aspect has an orb of 0, you'd be like, well, that's very close, so we should give this one priority. But if the orb was very big, like 9, that's an aspect that's probably impacting their relationship, but you don't really have to pay attention too much. So I've only started looking into this. I thought it might be good to get some more heads. And if someone finds like an unbalanced Synastry aspect chart, then, well, then this is, you know, a hypothesis that didn't come true. But I'm really curious to see what everyone else gets. Of, I think, the 10 or 15 I've done so far, I haven't found one that doesn't balance out. Like right here, these are two non-twin flame ones, and you can see if I zoom up, you see the arrows go to each corresponding one. What I was doing was I was basically trying to pair each one with another to see if they have a counterbalancing one, and they do. I did it really fast just by looking visually at the numbers that look the same and then going back again and seeing like actually which one goes with which. I made an Excel sheet and everything that. So what I noticed was there was a pattern that emerged by the normal people aspects, even though they canceled out, and the twin flame aspects. The twin flame aspects would have the same aspect happen twice. So if one was a square aspect and the similar placement one would be another square. That wouldn't happen with the regular people though. And I still have to go through it. But I'm hoping with more minds we can do this because this shit takes a while. Oh, and despite the fact that the twin flames have like exact counterbalancing ones, like trine with another trine aspect, or trine with another trine aspect, or a square with another square aspect. What they're actually going through is one of the aspects will be a dissociative aspect, which means that it's just kind of a weakened or a less amplified version. So it's the square, but it's like a shitty square. So the square basically is like a sextile because it's not having like the right corresponding elements, or it's not like a square means that there's going to be tension and a conflict that's going to come to head that the couple needs to like work on. A sextile is like, there's an opportunity for growth. It's good. It's not the best, but it's good. So it's like if you're playing Pokemon and you had like a fire type and then he was going to do a water attack because he could do it, but like, what's the fucking point? Like, it's not going to be a very effective move. And then like when you press the move and it goes, that wasn't very effective. That's what's happening. That's what a dissociative aspect is. So as you can tell, I'm not like an expert in this, but I thought maybe if I throw this out there into the wind, an expert can see this and be like, maybe there's something there. And then the expert can go on with it. You know what I mean? I'm also kind of scared because I'm not an expert on this, but I do see a pattern, and I do notice that there's a distinction in the way that they are categorized. So I'm curious if anyone else finds something like that. Here's one where I was just using, I think, my sister and me, and we're not twin flames, but so shit. So this is the one I'm using with my sister, and there's an arrow for each one that's corresponding. So I think if you guys are interested, help me test it out. You know what I mean? If you also notice that the balancing effect is happening with the different kind of aspects, that would be interesting. And I think that would leave more credence to there's an obvious symmetry happening in every single aspect chart, which again points to the laws of the universe, of the cosmos, being more true than not. So I thought it was interesting. And if you're curious, if someone's your twin flame, if you see that shit happening with the numbers lining up like mine did, then yeah, that's probably more likely than not. So what would be the purpose of figuring if this is actually like a concept that's actually happening, the duality with the aspects? Well, it would show there's a purposeful design to our lives, the relationships we enter, that the concepts talked about in like the universe stuff, and duality and polarity and the 12 universal laws are more on the money than not.